Okay, so we're here with Ian Foster. So if you could tell us first why you're in Toronto, North by Northeast, and if you could let us know a little bit about coming into Toronto or any other city on tour and what it takes to prepare for that.
I'm here for North by Northeast to play. I actually played just last night at Free Times Cafe. It was a great show. You want to know sort of about touring, that sort of thing? Like, what part of it do you want to know again? Sorry.
You know what it takes to prepare, like whether it's just a matter of set lists or gear, or I mean, you're going into a venue where there is a stage and there is gear there, but do you have an idea of what to expect? You bring your own gear. You prepare your expenses coming in, your financial expenses.
Yeah, well, I mean, setting up a tour as an independent artist is obviously elaborate and takes a lot of time and planning, and I've learned how to do it better and better over the years, of course, since I started. Certainly, you know, it combines, I guess, all of the elements that traditionally a label would do. You know, a label would have a booker who would handle all of the, you know, the guarantees of a bar, the finding out all the details of the show, which includes setup and that sort of thing. And then, of course, the promoter, the person who promotes the show, that is often a part of the independent artist job as well. And last and certainly most is the performance aspect, of course. You know, preparing the songs and just perfecting that audience interaction, you know, that that connection that you have with people when you play there. That's what it's all building towards. That's the sort of, that's the end, and all the other stuff is the means to that end.
Okay, and so you spend how many months on the road and how many months at home?
I would say I'd spend about overall 4 months of the year on the road, and the rest at home. I'm still gigging when I'm at home. You know, I still play in various places around the island of Newfoundland, and do other work when I'm there, like, aside from obviously recording my own stuff and producing records of my own. I work with other people, other artists. I do some score work, that sort of thing.
And when you're at home, how do you balance being a musician with actually having things that are not related to music?
Well, music is a huge component of my life, and I'm happy to say that it's the spectrum of music that I'm involved in is big, as I just mentioned, you know, between score work, do some teaching as well, which I enjoy a lot, producing other people's records, playing on other people's records. It keeps it interesting for me. It keeps me learning new things that go with writing songs. But frankly, I just really value friendships that I have there, the family that I have there. I stay very connected with them, and that you know, that grounds me during the times that you're not on the road. Obviously, as I guess you're implying, you know, and it's true, the road is a very different place than being at home. So to have those sort of you know, family connections, that connection to real life, for lack of a better term, is very important.
And coming into the different cities in Canada, the cities that you've been in, do you have, as somebody from the East Coast, do you have any expectations of, or any preconceptions of, oh, this is what this city's going to be like, that's what this city's going to be like, or is it all you just take it as it's another city in Canada, and I hope that they don't notice I have an East Coast accent?
Well, I do have preconceptions now, only because I've been to them, or some of them, and not preconceptions so much as just impressions that I've formed myself, you know. Before I go to a place, I try not to spend any time thinking about that. I mean, I'll learn a little about the place because I'm interested in it, maybe historically, but I'm not going to take somebody else's word for how the people are there or something silly like that. For me, it's just a matter of, you know, new place, new people to meet, new ideas to share, you know, new people to play songs for.
And where can folks find your music online?
IanFoster.ca.
And where can they find you in person?
Well, they could have found me last night, but this will probably be online long after that show happened. In Newfoundland, you can check ianfoster.ca/shows, which has all the listings, but I'll be doing a bunch of shows in Newfoundland in the summer, and in Nova Scotia, actually, at the end of June, if there's any Nova Scotians watching. And I hit the road again in September from Newfoundland to Ontario and back, so I'll be up here around mid-September again.
And your next trip back to Toronto will be?
Well, again, mid-September, I'll be back here for a house concert and for a show with Shauna Caspi at the Tranzac, and you can check out, once again, the website for all the details.
And actually, the Tranzac is the building right behind us right now.
There you go, right there. That's where I'm going to be.
Okay, I want to thank you for your time, Ian.
Thanks, man. Thanks for talking to me.
Okay. And we'll thanks a lot about the expenses that go, like very, very fine expenses, and you're talking about, you want to produce albums that are accessible to people in different formats, but also at a certain cost to you. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like, when you're thinking about the costs involved, I want to produce a certain album with certain sound, with certain backing players, mm-hmm. But if finances become too much of an issue, will I settle for something else? Or will I go, this is the album that I produced, I'm going to be happy with it, but it's not the album that I envisioned?
That's a good question. I've never had to settle, and I hope I never will. The records I've done have always been sort of bookmarks in I guess my musical life as it was at that time. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like if there's a will, there's a way with that stuff. It's as I mentioned to you, I did some pre-ordering for my last record, which helped to pay for the end part of that process, which allowed me to send, the record to Carvalho Studios here in Toronto to be mastered, which was something that I wanted to do for the record. I knew that was the right route. So, the choices that I made, for instance, on The Evening Light were made because I wanted to make them artistically, and there were ways through funding organizations or through pre-ordering that allowed me to financially achieve those goals. So frankly, I think, I suppose I could dream really crazily big and it might be a problem. If I wanted to make a, $12 million movie to accompany the album coming out, that could be an issue. That's never come up yet in my imagination. But so far, I've always been able to find a way to help fund the vision that I've had. So I guess that's the answer.